Lyft shares are sliding as the company's fourth quarter gross bookings fall below expectations. The rideshare giant also announcing its first buyback program. With a closer look at the quarter, we've got Roth MKM Managing Director Rohit Kulkarni. Good to see you, Rohit. So just give us your sort of big picture view on the quarter and what we just heard from Lyft.
I think the big negative surprise here is bookings. Bookings came in slightly below expectations in 4Q. 1Q guidance on bookings is also slightly below expectations. And that's the top line that drives the value here. On the other hand, we had Uber and mobility business that is at a much larger scale and has been growing faster. So there is almost a tale of two cities developing again, which over some part of 24, we had that narrowing between the growth rate of Lyft and Uber. But unfortunately, what we are seeing in 4Q and 1Q and just their overall commentary around mid-teens growth, whereas Uber is talking about very high teens, maybe 20% growth. So the gap between growth is widening, which is worrisome for Lyft.
So what do you think, this sort of muted, first quarter bookings, profit outlook? Any estimates, Rohit, of what you think explains this, the puts and takes here?
So there is a slight thing they talk about pricing. I think there are from a demand perspective, I think the demand for rides in mobility is as strong as ever, which means the volume should do well for both Uber and Lyft. But I think on the margin, Lyft tends to always be a price taker, and probably at that is what is developing from a hypothesis standpoint that pricing isn't as conducive for Lyft as compared to what Uber can or sometimes will dictate price.
So it's interesting here, Rohit. The company has also introduced some of these price incentives for returning customers, right? Their price lock that they've been doing. They've been trying to really get in commuters to use Lyft. How successful do you think that program has been?
I think the product portfolio of Lyft today versus what it was maybe 9, perhaps 12 months ago is significantly better with regards to innovating in the mobility side around new products that you just mentioned, Julie. They have a price lock feature, they have a recurring rides feature, they have slightly nuanced features as compared to what Uber has maintained their core feature set. So I think they have innovated on the product, but perhaps there is a pricing kind of discount that they are ending up having to take as compared to what we saw last year. Also, this is at the end of the day a marketplace with a demand-supply balance that Lyft and Uber have to strike. Right now, perhaps there is oversupply at Lyft, which kind of tends to have an indirect impact on price.
Rohit, CEO David Risher, he's been CEO there for nearly 2 years. I'm just curious, you're a financial analyst and you know the stock, you know the story. What do you make of the job he's done?
I would give him 3.5 stars. As in, I think overall the progress that Lyft has had from a product perspective, from a financial perspective, from a financial performance perspective, I think the progress has been tremendous. Whether it manifests into the stock remains to be seen, simply because for a company of the size and scale of Lyft, we need not just 1, but 2 or 3 quarters of baby steps of improvement. And unfortunately, in the last 4 to 5 quarters, we haven't seen that consistent 3 quarters of consistent execution that one would want for the stock to have that escape velocity. I would still give them credit that they have executed. Execution has improved, but we just want a little bit of extra consistent execution.
Rohit, I want to switch gears and ask you about DoorDash as well. This is another stock that I believe is falling in the after hours following its numbers. It looks like it is its outlook that was disappointing for folks, in particular, perhaps its EBITDA outlook here, although actually I stand corrected. Now the shares have turned around. As quickly things change, Rohit. What did you think of those DoorDash numbers?
I think, DoorDash is executing as well as one can. They had a fantastic 24. I think they're kicking off 25 with positive momentum, in my opinion. The bookings again came above expectations. When it comes to investment in the business, investing upside into the business, DoorDash is doing exactly that. So that's probably the slight perceived disappointment in EBITDA guide for the near term. But that's exactly what you would expect a company that's a market share leader, growth leader, and has been executing very well to do. That is invest surplus profits into the business and just control the EBITDA upside, the profitable upside that they have. So from a stock call perspective, the gap between Uber and DoorDash from a multiple standpoint is the widest we have seen. So the bar was slightly higher for DoorDash. Why isn't the stock up 5 or 10%? That's exactly why. It's a premium stock trading at a premium valuation, so they needed a premium result. And this is I would just say slightly positive result and not a 5-star premium result.
So Rohit, I know you're neutral on DoorDash. Is the primary reason is it a valuation call there?
Essentially a valuation call, and the belief that this company probably won't let profitability flow through as bullish investors expect them to. So that's why the valuation feels stretched and will remain stretched. Just to give you context, Uber, despite the last 20% move, is trading at 16, 17 times EBITDA. DoorDash is trading close to 28, 29 times EBITDA. This is the widest we have seen, and the growth rate between these two companies is not very, very different. So in such cases, we always prefer the cheaper stock, which is Uber.
Rohit, always great to see you get that instant reaction. Appreciate it, my friend.